Yes. Welcome back to another episode of the TNM podcast. I am your host, Maxim, and to my left is my homie for life, my ride or die, my best friend for life, Tim.
Brat.
How are you doing, my buddy?
I'm doing right. Welcome back to another episode. I'm glad we made it to the third episode of TNM podcast. Who would think, right?
Yeah,
And
I'm good to be honest. I'm shocked myself on how far we've come. You know how our journey has been so far. Tim, listen, buddy. I wanted to talk with you about some serious shit today.
We're gonna talk about the serious,
Serious.
a rage-fueled episode. So strap on, guys. Get ready, because we're gonna talk real. We're gonna
talk real shit with you guys.
talk real shit today.
All right, Tim. Start us off. What the hell
Canada?
is wrong with Canada? Let's just.
What the hell is wrong with
ask
Canada?
about that.
You want I tell you what the hell is wrong with Canada? So, the thing that I've had enough with. It's I need to get this off my chest, man. That's the food. That's the kind of food that I have to eat every single day. Going to the cafe downstairs in my residence, going there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Man, the kind of food that's being served here every single day, the size of portions, and you know the way it's cooked is really pissing me off. I'll tell you why. You know, I'm an okay guy. I'm trying to lead like more or less healthy lifestyle, but it's never been harder to do it living here. Man, what do you imagine we have on a typical breakfast? On a typical day for a breakfast meal, what would you expect to have, right? We want to have our lovely oatmeals, you know.
Something that's light, something that's not too heavy, not too greasy.
Yeah, maybe like some cottage cheese, some, I don't know, granola.
Berries, you know, something like that.
There, some fruit, man, some fruit, like something natural, right? Maybe some yogurt, some Activia, yeah, like, you remember this.
This is not sponsored by Activia, by the way.
Maybe it is, you'll never know. But the bottom line, you can't have these things here. You just can't. You come in there, you may expect to get like a greasy ass bacon, some fat pancakes like this. And when we say pancakes, it's not like nice, thin blini, right, that we're used to. You know the size of those.
When they mean pancakes, they mean an actual full cake. You know what I mean? Flour cake, whatever the hell that's called.
Exactly.
It's funny.
You come out of there, and I don't want to be specific, right? Because we're talking general stuff that like pisses the hell out of us. Whenever you come out of the cafe or say a restaurant, whoever lives alone still does the groceries, you know, they cook for themselves. They know the kind of they know the kind of portions that food is sold in the grocery stores. That's the same thing. Whenever you done with the meal, you feel like you want to throw up. You feel like, you know.
It feels like you didn't just eat one full meal. It feels like you ate the whole freaking cafeteria.
Exactly. So the food is supposed to energize you. That's the philosophy that we've lived in from childhood. You know, there's a nice like saying in Russian. It's called like есть такое слово надо. You know, like when there's food, you eat it. You know, you don't like, you know, pick this and that and then, you know, everything's so sweet and everything's so sugary. No, you eat what is being served, and you say thank you.
Can I actually add one more thing to food in America and Canada? Everything has so much sugar. It's absolutely fucking insane. How do you not get diabetes here from like one Twinkie or one Snickers bar? It just doesn't make any goddamn sense.
The worst thing, it's normalized. It's like in the culture. Nothing against American or Canadian culture. You know, there's a lot of lovely things and people that we've met here, but it's just eating unhealthy is like it's so normalized, and people here don't understand that's not actually like that. That it doesn't have to be like that.
That's true, and I agree with you 100% in that. And the second thing that pisses me off, you know, that I've been living with this for the last 15 years of my life here, is the distances. My God, man, I swear to God, these distances, that the places I have to go from one place to another is absolutely insane. I can't walk anywhere. I can't take a nice short walk to the grocery store. I have to take a car or an Uber just to get to one place. Mind you, my place where I live at right now and my university, I can't walk there. Why is that? It takes me an hour to get to my classes walking. That's how it pisses me off.
You've seen the size of those campuses, man. Like, they don't even schedule your classes like so that you can reasonably walk from one place to another. Like, once you have your science class and you have like 15 minutes between that and your I don't know, your physics class or your economics stuff, you know, all those faculties, they're located hell knows where around the campus. And I mean, I've studied in your uni. I know what it is.
And the thing is, like, you can't just have like a nice slow walk. You gotta speed run that shit, man. Like, that is what really pisses me off. And okay, fine. That's one thing if it's from my apartment to university. Imagine the distances that I have to go from, like, let's say from my house to, I don't know, to downtown. Imagine the place that I can't walk there.
What if you work?
There's no subways here. There's no, like, public transport isn't really such a big thing in America than it is like back home in Russia or in Europe. You literally have to like take a car or take an Uber, and mind you, those things don't cost cheap. You know, those things are they cost a lot of things. And speaking of costs, Tim,
bloody hell.
Could you tell us a little bit about taxes?
Man, I'm glad you asked, because this shit really pisses the hell out of me every time I think about it. So, you know how in Europe, a nice concept of paying what you actually see on the price tag? Well, yes. Guess what? This shit doesn't work like that in here. So, whenever we go to the groceries, to any freaking store where you buy stuff, you really have to be a gifted mathematician or have your calculator handy, because guess what? You're going to end up paying 20% as much as you've initially thought you'd pay. So that works okay with like small purchases and groceries, unless you care about like the money that you're spending. But let's say you want to buy an electronic device. You want to buy a nice pair of shoes that cost like $200. Well, guess what? You're not going to pay $200. You're going to end up paying $300, close to like $250 or like $300. Depends on the province, depends on the place you live. Like I can tell you.
Let's not talk about California taxes. Let's not talk about California taxes here, because those are incredible.
Hey man, let's be specific, right? For me and you, the tax rate in the province that I live is 10% provincial tax. Yeah,
10%?
Like such a lovely thing. A provincial tax. If you think that that's it, no, there's also a federal tax.
Okay, well, I thought in America, where I live in the state of Florida, 7% tax is a lot. No, but wait, there's more to that than just taxes.
Not the worst. Trust me. I've had enough of this. Okay, so.
All right, next thing, what I want to talk about here with you guys, ladies with gentle hands.
Ladies with gentle hands.
I'm just kidding, ladies and gentlemen, you know. The fourth thing that really pisses me the fuck off. Tim, my God, this really pisses me the fuck off. Is the weather in Florida. Let me tell you this. You cannot live in Florida from months of May up until like August.
No
Why
way.
is that? Because it is so hot here, and mind you, it's not only just hot. That's just the first part. The worst part, the even worse part about this is the humidity that you live in Florida. Cause my God, I am telling you, the amounts of freaking clothes you have to have for one day is insane. Let me explain why. Because let's say you're out in a nice summer day. You come out, it's about 30 degrees Celsius. Mind you, in about 5 minutes,
For real? That's
5 minutes,
crazy, man.
you are sweating so hard. You have to go back and change your shirt. Mind you, you're walking, you're standing in one place. That's how bad it can get.
That is
And that
unimaginable.
annoys me the absolute hairs out of me. Like,
Ah,
it's so bad because I cannot, first of all, if I want to take a nice, relaxing walk, I cannot go without my back sweating like any more than like 2 minutes.
and think about it, like we all do sports, right? Like we most of the time we do sports indoors because it's like we're like polar opposites. Where in Canada it's like freaking cold, ice cold, like most part of the year. But you, man, like you play tennis, right? So like I can imagine in the summer you gotta be like drenching like a horse on that field.
And when I literally mean I'm drenching sweat, like I'm literally mean that. It's disgusting. Like after my 2-hour practices, I come out, it's like I came out of a shower with my clothes on. That's literally how bad it is.
And that's funny. Like that's why this exchange is interesting because like for us it's complete opposite, and I can't imagine being pissed off by the warm weather because I'm actually craving some warm weather for once. You know, let's say for you it's May through August. For us, starting from October all the way up until April, it's impossible. It's practically impossible to be outside, to live a normal lifestyle, to walk, to like go on dates, you know, like
touch some grass, you know what I mean? Touching
no
some grass.
way. Going out is such a big issue here because you have to wear like 3 fucking layers, you know. You don't even know how it's gonna be at night because the amplitude of temperature keeps like going up and down every day. And then you end up wearing like your thickest ass coat. You get to the club or bar or wherever you're meeting your friends, and then like half of the time there's not even a coat check, or it costs like $10 to like check in your coat.
You have to pay for that as well?
Such an
Are you
issue.
kidding me?
I'm telling you, going out in winter, it's a mess. Going anywhere in winter is a mess. Don't get me wrong, like everybody, like we like our winter sports, you know. Canada is so famous for like the hockey, the ice skating, the sledging, all of that. Well, guess what? If you really want to do it, you have to wear like, you gotta be dressed like an astronaut, man. Because this winter, the lowest temperature that it dropped to, it was like minus 25 to minus 28 degrees, where we were supposed to have a skiing trip, and it got canceled just because of the weather. Just because it would be literally so cold that people would get a frost. Everybody knew that. Nobody wanted to take the risk.
And,
Like-
and speaking about, you know, like all these frosts and all these injuries that you can get through that, you know, like let's talk about actually something that really pisses both of us off. Medicare. Tim,
Man, you really hyped me up in here because I have a lot to tell about freaking Medicare in Canada. And I know this is our common pain. That's okay, that's our common issue. I know this is so not we're used to. just maybe like for a little bit of context for our Northern American friends for whom it might seem normal. In Europe, same in Europe and in Russia, like we're so used to the concept, just the mere concept of medical services being free, like no charge at all, right? Not even through insurance, not through, it's just free, it's just out there. It's public service that is accessible as long as you're a human, as long as you look like a human. There's no papers needed. There's no nothing. They're asking. They're not trying to fool you with money or anything. It's just out there. So let me tell you like a short story of how I went skiing. So I ended up going skiing, right? Once the weather was normal. Long story short, my elbow got dislocated.
Что я могу сказать, Саныч? Это Оскар. Орден Ленина и профсоюзная путевка.
So just to give you an idea of what really pissed me off about this situation is not the accident itself, right? Shit happens and that's normal. Like we're used to that. I'm used to like painful accidents throughout my life. I've been doing like some sports. I played football and stuff. So I got injured before. The thing that pissed the absolute shit out of me is the fact that there wasn't anyone on site to help me. Okay? So there's a whole ski base, and it's not like the smallest or like some sketchy, ski slope. There's a whole resort that's built, in like maybe 50 kilometers away from a major city of Montreal. So we went skiing on a Sunday. And you know what? Once I injured myself, I was lying on the freaking mountain and there was no one to help me. Okay? So we called this one of those ski patrol ladies who've been questioning me instead of helping. And she ended up advising getting purchasing some painkillers in the local store instead of like checking up on me.
In a situation where you were like literally dying. And
I was literally holding myself not to scream or swear. I couldn't lift my arm like this. It was this arm, it was this elbow, so I couldn't bend my arm or lift it. And I literally told her that, and then she was like, don't get me wrong, like she wasn't doing it out of spite or anything. It's just how the system works, okay? She had to ask me so many questions about like my life, about my first crush, I don't know, about my uni where I studied.
Ask how much money you have in the bank account.
Yeah, like shit like that, right? And then you would expect to, after all this questionnaire is done, you would expect to get some help. Well, guess what? She just wrapped my head with some sort of like a toilet paper and she let me go. She was like, well, if that's really an emergency, you gotta call 911. So that was her best advice.
I just can't imagine Tim just like, he's like literally trying to hold in his like screams of pain.
Снимай запаску. Ай, блядь. Ай.
That was the first time I was taken down from the ski slope on a stretcher. Like I ended up going to a real hospital because obviously it wasn't an emergency. I wasn't making shit up, and at least I had my lovely ride on a wheel. Just to the credit of like, Canada and healthcare here, everything that happened afterwards was extremely like professional. I was taken good care of, and it all like the operation happened the same day. I was checked off the same day. They let me go and everything. All the staff in the hospital was super supportive. They all told me their names. They asked how I was doing. They're super nice. That's, by the way, what's normal here in North America. A lot of like doctors, they meet you and they introduce themselves as well as explain everything that's going to happen to you during the operation and afterwards. You know, I was like, but it was a very nice time, and like everything happened afterwards. Just, you know, a piece of advice for anyone that's concerned about their health in Canada or the US. You know, you guys have to be ready to struggle.
We have a saying here, you know, in America, really quick, that nobody wants to call an ambulance anymore, because the reason why is because it's a minimum at least of $5,000 to get an ambulance to come to your home. And people are like, oh, no. I'd rather walk there, you know, with my broken leg, you know, than
fall in there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had cases. I mean, I had cases, okay? Like some of my friends in here, they had broken arms, they had broken legs. You know, there was actions that were much worse than mine, okay? And they just couldn't afford to see a doctor, you know? Like they couldn't go to the hospital. They like, thankfully, you know, in Canada at least, there's insurances. I'm insured with my university. That's why I didn't have to pay anything. But, you know, not everybody is in the same situation. Like something that us Europeans, like we consider as our basic rights, you know, here you have to fight for it. So to all of our European friends and friends in Russia, you know, whenever you come visit here, you know, you better stay healthy.
A lot of money out of your pocket.
Or you better stay healthy.
You better stay healthy, yeah.
Better not have to deal with it.
I think the last thing that I'm going to talk about for today, our sixth thing that really pisses me off about America, is the mentality of people. Specifically about how they act, how sometimes they see things, and what they view it. So one of the things that I actually don't really understand about the mentality here, let's say back in Russia, if in order to meet someone somewhere at some date, you gotta say this place, this time, this date, and that's it. You meet at exactly that time. Not let's say like if I want to meet you at 12, I don't meet you at 12:30, I don't meet you at 1, I meet you at exactly 12 or earlier.
Us, usually, I don't know about Moscow, but in St. Petersburg, it is a really good habit and really an unspoken rule that you arrive somewhere like at least 10 minutes prior to the time of your appointment. Even if you're meeting a friend, you know, it just makes things easier. You'd rather agree to meet later, but then actually get your ass in there on time, because you don't want to, like, it's so stupid. Like, if you think about it, like standing out there and waiting for someone. Who does that?
Like coming from Russia, you know, where like our mentality is like, no, we gotta do this now. Like we gotta do this now. Like we gotta do everything super high quality. No excuses.
Especially if it's important.
A little bit laid back, you know.
Look, we're recording this episode right now. It's 11 p.m. But we had a deal that we're gonna do it today. You know, we all have our lives, okay, and it's kind of hard to fit in to everybody's schedule. But guess what? We showed up and we're doing this because that's normality for us.
And that's true, and I totally agree with my homie Timofey over here. So it's like, and one more thing that I want to point out about the mentality part is that sometimes when you're building friendships or when you're building any relationships, right, it's sometimes hard to understand people in a sense of them, what they're trying to say, right? Because back home in Russia, we say a lot of things directly how they are.
But jokes aside, we're like super direct, and that's true. Like we think about it as a means to help people, you know, and just like to build a more quality relationship, because we believe that it all starts with like telling the truth, telling straight up facts, rather than faking ourselves and pretending someone that we're not.
And it's funny, and that happens even when somebody hates somebody.
Especially if someone, those intonations, bro, I know them. This, you know, that's the warning sign to me.
That's true. So in our countries, again, one more thing before we conclude this amazing episode, very interesting episode, is that we back home in Russia, we would rather stay true to the people around us, and actually tell them what it is that they're lacking of, or they say that they're not having the best benefits of, than to lie to them and make them feel unsure about what they have. That's
We're
basically
dead ass. At least one thing you can be sure of, like if you meet like someone that's Slavic, is that they're not gonna be pretentious pieces of shit. They're gonna tell it up straight to your face. If they don't like you, it's gonna be clear. Okay? So with that, I think we're gonna wrap up our rage episode. This we had to do that. Hey, like this is something that we've been holding up to ourselves. So I hope you enjoyed it, Max.
Thank you so
what do
much,
you think?
guys.
We have so much more coming.
Yes, stay tuned, guys, for the next, 3 episodes that we're going to be filming with you guys, excuse me. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. We all hope to see you very soon. Thank you so much, guys.
Enjoy.
Bye-bye.